We're joined by political strategist and lobbyist Michael Caputo. Former Republican 2020 presidential candidate Joe Walsh still joins us. Kind of you to stay with us from the previous conversation. And joined in the studio still by the former advisor to Donald Trump, Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, and TalkTV presenter Nicola Thorpe and Mike Graham. They're both still with me. So we've got plenty of voices. Let's start, though, with Michael Caputo, a voice we haven't heard from yet. And I mean, what I find most interesting about your insights into this is that you were heavily involved in the Russiagate investigations that happened prior. And you have made some points to us about the way that that affected you in terms of legal fees. And I'm interested to know from you how you think that changes things or the way it shapes the way we look at how Trump is fighting these current indictment charges.
Well, I think in America, we call this whole strategy lawfare. I think you might call it the same over there. And our society is becoming quite, dead to the pain of lawfare. Really, it's about punishing your opponent with as much legal fees and accusations and charges and terrible media cycles as humanly possible. Our family was crushed by our legal fees, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was just a witness. There are some like Roger Stone who were into the millions of dollars. And in reality, these are all a lot, the charges against Trump now remind me of all the allegations against us. It's really political speech. And they just, this is a weaponization of the federal government to fight and try to defeat Donald Trump before he defeats Joe Biden.
Look, with the word weaponization has been used so much within the last week or the last few days since this indictment, latest one, dropped. Anyway, I've heard it, likened to the McCarthy era in terms of exploiting paranoia and fear with regards to interrogating and investigating people. We're talking Russiagate now as well. But in terms of the funding, you're in a very different situation. You say you were a witness to that, but it crippled your family with regards to defending yourself as a witness in Russiagate. Donald Trump is in a very different position. He was anyway, you could argue still is, successful businessman. He was former president of the United States. His tax affairs have been revealed. It's all very complicated. He is raising funds, of course, for his campaign. Explain to an international audience how he's probably going to fund this type of defense.
Well, this is really part of the issue. The Department of Justice is pursuing the very likely candidate after the Republican primary who will run against Joe Biden or any other candidate they may have. And they're trying to cripple him before he gets there. Part of that is to drain the funds and distract the candidate. And we know that there's been millions of dollars in legal fees in the past. I mean, these indictments are getting to be like that movie Groundhog Day, but it's not Bill Murray, it's Donald Trump. And it isn't funny. It's not a comedy. In fact, this is very dangerous stuff. This first charge that Jack Smith came up with, the conspiracy against rights charge, includes a penalty of up to 10 years in federal prison. But if a death results from the conspiracy against rights, they can also seek the death penalty. The conspiracy against rights charge rises from the January 6th riot, and Ashley Babbitt was killed by the Capitol Police. In fact, if these charges, and especially the conspiracy against rights charge, sticks, they're seeking the death penalty.
Look, this trial, this indictment rather, that we're hearing about now, it does cap off this years-long investigation into the events of January 6th. We're going to have to wait and see from the indictment, from the trial that pursues. We've obviously got the 45 pages to read the details they've brought up.